Hello, knockouts. TonyaTko here. Ooh. Let me pause for a moment because I'm sliding in the snow. And yes, I am out in the snow without a winter jacket on. And I mean, I don't even have on winter shoes. And that's kind of what part of today's video is about. Not about the winter, but just about the year and what to do. I want to give you guys 3 things to do in 2017. And like for me, after the type of year that I've had, things like cold and discomfort and those types of things, they take on a whole different meaning or different space or place in my life, right? And so today I want to talk about 3 things that you must do. 3 things that you must do in 2017, right? And so let's jump right into it. You know what? Before we jump into it, let me give you guys a quick roundabout view. I walked all the way up to the top of this mountain. Well, I didn't walk all the way up to the top, but I came up to this part because I wanted you guys to see. Remember that area that I came into in the summer when I showed you guys the roundabout of just the mountainous area? Remember the place where I was 7,000 feet above sea level and it was just like a beautiful view? Look at that book. Oh, Lord have mercy on me. But right now it looks like looks like the clouds are so low that it's blocking your view, so you can't even see. And I don't know if you hear those sounds, but I'm a little scared to be out here this far up by myself because you never know when out here there's a lot of bobcats. You never really know when they're not getting enough food and they might come out looking for a snack, you know? But, hey, look, que sera, right? I should have brought some mace with me or some bear pepper spray or something. You can see a little bit out there in the distance. Do you see the trees across the way? I wanted you all to see that. All right, but let's get right into the 3 things that you must do for 2017, all right? First one is, I really want you to take the time to find the answer that leads you back to love, or find the answer that strengthens you in love. And when I talk about my year, part of the way that I was able to make it through this year is I had to use a lot of imagination. I had to find a reason for why things were happening, the reason why things came into my life, the reason why I attracted certain things into my life. And you know, I don't want this video to be long, so I'm going to try to talk fast and really jump right into it. It's difficult. It's difficult. It's difficult to look at ourselves and try to figure out what is it that we did to contribute to the current state of our lives. I tell people this sometimes, and it's like the life that you're living right now is a result of choices that you made 2 days ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So what is it that you're going to do as of today to make sure that the life that you want in the future is the one that you are working towards, gearing towards, going towards, creating a way to have, right? Excuse me if I'm winded. There is a mountain cliff. Do you see it right there? Excuse me if I'm winded, because like I said, we're really high above sea level and the air appears really thin. And then when it's cold like this, it's even thinner. But God, the scene is so beautiful that it just, I don't know. But let's finish. I know it's hard to take responsibility for the things that we are responsible for. And I can imagine that it's even harder to take responsibility for the things that you feel that you had no doing in. But I will say this, right? And the people who are on my mailing list, you guys got a really long, detailed holiday letter from me about getting down to the lowest common denominator of love, finding your way back to that. And really, really, really thinking about who it is that you are as a human being, as a spiritual being having a human experience. Think about that and think about what is it. Me personally, I don't believe that all of our energy is inside of our bodies. I believe that there is a certain amount of our energy that exists outside of our body. I actually think only a very small amount of our energy is inside of our body, and that we have a higher self. and that this higher self has a higher intelligence that is, how do I put this? Because it's the same intelligence that we're all connected to. We're all connected to one universal intelligence, but I believe that our higher self, I believe that in order to have a human experience, that there's certain things that we have to be able to forget or not be able to be fully in touch with. And I think that's why our higher self is here, to help us gear towards the experience that we would like to have in this life. And when I talk about bringing yourself back to love, I'm talking about in every and any way that you can imagine. When we talk about a rape you might have had, molestation as a child, abuse you may have faced in your home, an illness you may have come upon, I believe that there's a higher intelligence and an order to our lives. And I believe that before we come into this life, that there are certain things that we would like to experience as a soul. You guys know that I had a near-death experience in 2007, and that's what led me on the journey to becoming TonyaTko as you know me today. And when I was in this area, when I was having my near-death experience, when I was in this realm, the only feeling that there was, you hear those sounds, right? Okay. The only feeling that there was love. That's it. There was no ability to feel any other feeling except love. And while we're here on this earth's plane, let me try to walk up here. We have a really special opportunity to be able to feel other feelings other than love. There's a duality to this planet. There's a duality to this life. There's a duality to existing on this planet. In order for there to be darkness, there must be light. In order to understand heat, you must understand cold. In order to know what short is, in order to understand what tall is, there has to be a comparison to short. And so I want us to really, really, really think about the beauty that we gained from some of our life's most challenging experiences. I was going to do a video a few weeks ago, and the video was going to be entitled, "Did I Make a Mistake?" And it was going to be about the year that I just had, because an associate contacted me, or I got into contact, or I was in communique with an associate who was telling me that I had made a huge mistake by closing my business and going on this journey this year. And I sent him love from my heart to his, because I know that what it is that I experienced this year was not a mistake. It changed me and it altered me in ways that I would not have been able to be changed and altered had this year not taken place as it had, right? And in fact, this year of displacement had been one of the greatest years of my life. This year was one of the best years of my life. And I know that I did not make a mistake, because who it is that I am now. See, when I talk about that higher intelligence, and I spoke about this in the last video, there's a woman or a man that you would like to be. And when you set the intention to become this person, there will be things that will come into your life which will help you become that person. And it's up to you to decide whether or not you're going to relax into it or fight against it. This year, I relaxed into my year, and I searched in every single thing for the meaning. And when I searched, it was like, remember, I had a hard time writing that book about loving yourself, because child, listen. Remember, I had a hard time writing that book about loving yourself because it had been so long since I had gone on a journey. And number 3 of the video is going to tie this all together. But remember, I had a hard time writing that book because it had been so long since I had done my self-love journey. My mother passed away when I was 19, and that was quite a number of years ago. And so falling down into displacement and having to lift myself up from there, having my worst, for a person like me and who it is that I come into this life as, falling into displacement, having no more money, running out of money, having to ask people for help, stuff like that. For the type of person that I am, that was the lowest that I could imagine being. It was one of my biggest fears. And so, going into the displacement and having to go through the trials and tribulations of that, the outline for the book just wrote itself. And even still, as I am continuing to write the book, there are new insights that are just flourishing from these experiences. And I needed to go through this, not in a halfway in kind of way, but an all the way in kind of way. I'll say this as an aside. My displacement is over, and I do have a home now. I just got it maybe, what's today, the 2nd? I got it on a few days before Christmas. And so I did a call and I spoke with the people who donated to my campaign about that. And I'm going to send them pictures, etc. of my place. And I'll update you all when the time is right, when I get a chance, because I have to do a whole tour and everything. But I'm just really kind of relaxing into that right now, just really kind of letting a load off after this whole year. But it was like, it wasn't I needed to go through that in the way that I went through it, really going, sorry, there's just so many sounds out here. I needed to go through that in the way that I went through it in order to help me get to it's like, I went the year before last, 2015, the year before last, my lips are getting frozen. The year before last, when I was on that trip through Central and South America, I went to this underground cave up in Champagne. And in this underground cave, there was this waterfall. And the waterfall was kind of like a womb. I can't really explain. It was like all of the water was going through this opening. And you had to, in order to get back up through the top of the cave, you had to go through this waterfall, and you had to go through this little opening. And it was kind of like that this year, that I had to trust, I had to let go, I had to release, I had to go in, all the way in, balls to the wall in. Okay, I'm just joking. I had to go all the way in order to come out on the other side of that. And so that's what I needed for me to get me to where it is that I need to be. What you need and what your guardian angel set up for you is going to be different for you. But what I needed was what I went through. And so we're still on number 1. And so for one, I really want you to take the time to figure out on a deeper level, not just as a human, not from your human experience, but on a deeper level. What is it that you've asked for as a soul? What is it that you gained from that molestation, from the drug-addicted parents, from the abuse that you faced? What is it that you gained that has helped you get to where it is that you have always been yearning to be? What is the blessing that came from that lesson? Remember, don't get bitter, get better. And what is it that you gained? How did it make you better? Return and come back to love from that experience that you had. And so what is it that experience did for you, not to you? What did it do for you? And so for me, people were in a lot of shock by the way that I was handling the displacement. And even I, when I had to decompress after this whole year, had to think about the triumphant way and the strong and stoic way in which I really navigated through the displacement. And I have to give myself a little pat on the back. Remember, don't forget to honor and celebrate yourself. But yeah, so what was it that the displacement did for me? How did it enhance and better my life? And what is it that what you're going through in your life on a soul level is enhancing and bettering? Remember, don't get bitter. Get better. And so how is it that you've become better from that experience? And so that's 1. And so 2, number 2 is try. Number 2 is try. Whatever it is that is burning, yearning deep inside of you, try. Continue to search, to look, to uncover. You know, we as adults, we get into this space in which we are afraid to try. And it's like so much so that even like we'll get a new device or new computer, a new phone, and we don't even press on the different buttons inside the phone to see, like if we're not told to go there, if we don't have an explicit reason to be on a certain tab, we don't even explore the tab. And so I'm telling you, try. Lift up corners, peel back carpets, lift up blinds, curl things back, look underneath different things, try different things. The difference that was made for me this year was when I followed my curiosities. And that made, you see that? I don't know if you see this little bush right here. Little bush sticking out as I passed it just startled me. I have to calm myself. Okay. Oh, I put on this white shirt just for you all because I thought it'd be really pretty to be out here in the snow with my white shirt on. Look. Isn't that cute? And I put on little pearls for you guys too. So I hope you like it. Number 2 is try. I realized when my niece was little, the difference between, I was wondering how are kids able to know so much about these computer programs, these games, etc. And I sat down and I watched her as she played, and what she did was she clicked on every tab. And that's what leads us to number 3. Oh, my finger's so cold. Number 3, that's what leads us to number 3. Make mistakes. Woohoo! Like that one. No, make mistakes. I once read in this book by Robert Kiyosaki that, I don't know if I read it in the book or one of his seminars or whatever, but he said it takes 10 failures to become successful. And so he was like, just go on and hurry up and get your 10 failures out of the way. And so I'm here to tell you, make mistakes. Make mistakes. Fail. I think one of our biggest fears is failing. We don't want to fail. We don't want to look stupid. We don't want to fall down. We don't want to mess up. And it's that fear of not wanting to mess up, not wanting to fall down, that actually stops us from doing number 2, which is trying. Because we're afraid to make mistakes. So listen to your big sister. Let me tell you, go out there and make mistakes. Go out there and fail. Go out there and try. Because there may be a portion, okay. You may fail. What if you don't? Oh, I'm falling into this thing. Hop over that. You may fall. Most people say, what if you don't? I'm going to ask you, what if you do? What if you do? I'm falling into this, how symbolic, right? I'm falling into like these little ditches. Because the snow is deeper in some areas than others. A lot of people say, what if you don't fail? I'm going to say, doggone it, what if you do? What if you do? I fell this year. One of my worst. I used to work so hard. Because the thought of not having money, the thought of not having the power and the freedom and the anonymity that money gives, not anonymity, autonomy, that money brings, was frightening to me. So one of the worst things that could have happened for a person like me is to not have money. And then I didn't have money. And then what? I wasn't able to make decisions on my own. I wasn't to come and go as I please. I wasn't able to wield. I wasn't able to take care of myself. I wasn't able to do all of those things that I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to do. And look. I'm still here. Look. I'm still here. You know, as long as you wake up each day, you got another opportunity to try. And if you fail and if you fall and if you stumble, this is how children learn how to walk. They fall and they fall and they fall and they get back up again. They fall and they fall and they fall. And they get back up again. Look at me. I fell in front of the entire public. Look at me. I fell. I fell. I fell. And look, I'm here. I'm living. I'm breathing. I'm here. 2017. Brand new year. I made it. I made it. You made it. I'm sorry. I don't want to cry because I don't want my face to be cold because those tears, so I'm trying to make sure that they don't fall out. That's a little birdie flying on one branch to another. But yeah, look at me. I fell and I made it. So ask yourself, okay, what is the worst thing that you are imagining from not trying? The worst failure, the worst mistake. What is it? Losing your house? Losing what? What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of losing that you're stopping yourself from trying? And what if that thing happened? What if that thing happened? Are you afraid to lose your relationship? Are you afraid to lose the figure that you have right now? Okay. Are you afraid to lose the financial standing that you have? Are you afraid to lose the life that you have right now, the lifestyle? Because once you lose your life, there's no more. But there's a blessing in health. There's a blessing in sanity. There's a blessing in youth. They say that youth is wasted on the young. Or is it? What can you do not to waste your youth right now while you have the energy, the fortitude, the physical fortitude and the mental aptitude to do it? What shall you do? What shall you do? So yes, those are the three. Find the meaning that brings you back to love. 2, try. And 3, fail. Make your mistakes. Fail if you need to. Because at the end of the day, look. Oh, the year has passed. I spent a year displaced. I tried and I pushed and I learned and I made my lessons. I read this quote today that said, don't do the same activities day in, day. I don't remember how the quote went, but it said, don't do the same activities 75 years straight and call that a life. So yeah, this life was off the grid and this life was avant-garde and this year was off the beaten path. Oh, this bush is kind of warm. Hey, Bushy. Hi, Bushy. But yeah, so if I could say anything to all of you, that is what I would say. So listen, I love you all very much. It's chilly out here and I'm going to walk back to my place right now. I can't wait till you all see what it is that I got. I'm so happy and I'm so proud and I found a way to do it my way. When everyone was pushing and pulling for me to do it how they wanted me to do it, I did it my way and I did it in a way that made me happy and which is right for my life. And so I did that and I'm proud and I'm happy of myself and I endured. Look, I made my mistakes and there's still more mistakes that may come. None of us, we're dropped off into this life and we don't have an instruction book, but we do the very best that we can. We do the best that we can. And so none of us really know what it is that we're doing. So just look, do you try. And so I want you guys to walk back with me because I'm way up here now, but I'll go back on my own and I'll think about what it is that we talked about today. And I want you guys to think about what we talked about today. And if you're brave enough, I want you to tell me, if you're brave enough, I want you to tell me what is it that you're going to try this year, 2017. And let's do all 3. 1, your biggest lesson this year, what is it? What was the meaning behind that? 2, what is it that you're going to try for this year? And 3, what is one of your biggest fears of failing at? One of the worst things that you think can happen to you. something that you've been fearing, something you've been putting off doing because you fear that this will happen. And so, look, I remember when I was in high school. This is the last thing I'm going to say. I remember when I was in high school, or when I first graduated from high school. There were girls who had gotten pregnant, and they didn't know what they were going to do. And, I see some sort of animal. I hope it's a squirrel. Okay, and they didn't know what they were going to do, but now we're all grown up, and those girls who were pregnant then, all of our parents were so hard, this is going to happen, that is going to happen if you get pregnant, this, that, and the other. And then all is said and done, now these women are in their 40s, their kids are big and grown, and they made it through. They didn't know how they were going to do it either, and they did it, and they made it through. Now they got grown children, and nobody even, look, you're 20 years older than your kid, 18 years older than your kid. Life goes on. It continues to tick. That's one thing that I learned about being out here. There's a rhythm. The sun comes up and the sun goes down. The sun comes up and the sun goes down. And it's like, it's what you do in that time frame that becomes your day. What is it that you exchange? Oh, those are birds. They're camouflaging to the trees, but when they fly out, you can see them against the white. But yeah, so what is it that you are giving up in exchange for your days? And if you are not living and you're just merely alive, then what is it that you can do to really, 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 truly live? What can you do to live? Because this year, even though I had a rough year last year, this year, I am rising from the ashes like the phoenix. Because that is what I want. That is what I have created for myself, the foundation that I have laid for myself for this year. And I'm not afraid. You guys want to hear some bird songs? Sing, birdies. There's an amazing freedom that comes when you're no longer afraid to fail. So what is it you can do? What is it that you can do to step away from that fear? What can you do? All right, I love you all very, very much. I'm about to walk down the hill, so I want to concentrate because it's kind of slippery over here. So listen, what can you do? Where's the light? Oh, there's the light. All right. What can you do to separate yourself from the fear? Remember in the comments below. Oh, look, the fog is lowering down. Did you guys see that was happening behind me? I don't know, let me step out into the middle so you guys can see. My foot just went all the way into the snow. The fog, you can't really see it on camera. Boo. Wouldn't that be funny if I fell down before the video ended? But you know what? Listen, if I was afraid that I would slip down, if I was afraid, I wouldn't have come out here. So what is it that, what can you do to step away from your fear? What is it that you are wanting for yourself this year that you've always been too afraid to get? If anything, please look at my life as an example. I fell. And look, I'm still here. I'm still here. A ticking and a kicking. Hug me, hug me, hug me. Oh, I love you all very, very much. Another hug, another hug. It's cold. Oh, warm me up, warm me. I love you all. Go out there and love one another. But most importantly, what? That's right. Love yourself. And loving yourself is creating the life that you want, the life that you deserve, the life that you are afraid to go for. Marianne Williams said that we're not afraid that we don't have the power, but we're afraid that we're powerful beyond measure. So what is your inner power, your hidden power? See, this is what I'm talking about because these tracks came through here. And so this part is slippery. So I really want to concentrate. So listen, what is it that you've been afraid to do? Do it, do it, do it. And remember the 3 things I want you to write in the comments. What was your biggest lesson from the lesson that leads you back to love from 2016? And for 2017, what are you going to try? And what have you been afraid to fail at? So on that note, one more hug, warm me. Oh, goodness. All right. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you stay in touch. I'm TonyaTko, author of the book How to Love Yourself Even When There Seems No Reason to. And we are going to get it for 2017. Let's go. You hear the ice crackling, right? You hear it crackling, right? Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. 2017. 2017. Let's get it. Let's get it. Peace. My fingers are so cold. Look at them. Oh, they can't bend. Peace. I love you. Oh, it hasn't stopped. Is it still recording? I love you. Make sure you subscribe to my videos here and follow me all around the internet. It's TonyaTko everywhere, and that's Tonya with an O. Tonya TKO. Peace. It's not stopping. The screen is too cold. Oh, Lord. It's really not stopping. You know what? Because my hand is too cold. Oh, Lord. What? Maybe I can stop it with my tongue. I know this is... Okay, just pretend you don't see this part. Okay. I can't stop my camera! Lord, what am I going to do? My hand is too cold for it to register. I don't know why my tongue is not... Hold on, let me see if I can do it with my pants. This is my cell phone. People were wondering how was I able to make such high resolution videos. And I'm like, this is a mobile phone. They were like talking about I had a crew with me when I was doing the displacement for the Dream Diaries. And that was all on me. I'm glad that I made it look easy. Please turn off. Turn off. Oh, Lord. I gotta turn it off. It's not turning off. It's just too cold out here. I'm going to try to turn... I don't want to turn off the phone and then corrupt the video. Let me try my tongue again.